Hey Cowboys Nation, welcome back to the channel, and settle in because today's update is one of those moments where everything around this team feels amplified. The Dallas Cowboys are at a crossroads in the season where every roster decision, every injury update, every public comment from the front office, and every snap on the field carries added weight. This past week has been especially revealing, not just in terms of wins and losses, but in how the organization is thinking about its future, how coaches are evaluating talent, and how the league at large is starting to look at this Cowboys roster. If you want the clearest picture of where this team really stands right now and what direction it might be heading in, this is a conversation you absolutely want to stay locked into. The biggest talking point continues to revolve around wide receiver George Pickens, a player who has become one of the most discussed names inside and outside the Cowboys building. Over the last several weeks, Pickens has been evaluated not only by fans and analysts, but very publicly by the organization itself. When Jerry Jones stepped in front of a microphone and offered his full backing of Pickens, it was not a throwaway comment or standard owner speak. Jones went out of his way to highlight Pickens' competitiveness, his ability to win in contested situations, and the edge he brings to the offense. He even labeled him a triple-plus type of player, a phrase that immediately grabbed attention across the NFL. When an owner speaks that openly and confidently about a player, it sends a message that goes far beyond a simple vote of confidence. Naturally, that endorsement triggered a wave of speculation, particularly around money and long-term commitment. Analysts and insiders wasted no time floating massive contract figures, with some numbers sounding more like headlines than realistic projections. While those dollar figures create buzz, they often miss the heart of the situation. Contracts in the NFL are rarely dictated by praise alone. They are shaped by fit, consistency, durability, locker room dynamics, and long-term vision. In Pickens' case, the most important factor may not be the size of the contract, but whether Dallas truly believes he is an essential piece of what they want to build offensively over the next several seasons. That discussion naturally leads to the connection between Pickens and quarterback Dak Prescott. Chemistry between a quarterback and a wide receiver is one of the most valuable and fragile assets in football. With Pickens and Prescott, that chemistry is becoming more visible each week. The timing on routes is sharper, the trust on contested throws is growing, and there is a clear sense that Pickens understands where Prescott wants him to be in critical moments. That kind of connection is not accidental. It is built through film sessions, constant communication, and repetition in practice. It is also something that does not always translate easily if a player moves to a new team with a different quarterback and system. That is why the idea of Pickens leaving Dallas raises legitimate questions. In the Cowboys' offense, he benefits from stability at quarterback and a scheme that allows him to use his physicality and ball skills. On another team, especially one without an established quarterback, his impact could look very different. The Cowboys understand that, and so does Pickens. That shared understanding often becomes the foundation for meaningful negotiations. The real story here is not about eye-catching contract rumors, but about whether both sides believe their best football is ahead if they stay together. While that long-term discussion continues, the Cowboys are also dealing with immediate challenges, particularly on the injury front. Tight end Jake Ferguson has become a major point of concern after being downgraded to did not practice status with a calf injury. On paper, a calf issue might not sound severe, but anyone who follows football closely knows how deceptive these injuries can be. Calf strains can linger, affect explosiveness, and if rushed, can lead to more serious complications. The Cowboys' medical staff appears to be taking a cautious approach, carefully managing Ferguson's workload and monitoring his recovery. Ferguson's absence, even if short-term, forces the Cowboys to adjust how they use the tight end position. That creates opportunities for players like Luke Schoonmaker and Revan Spanford, and it also opens the door for someone like Princeton Fant to potentially be elevated. These are not simple substitutions. Each tight end brings a different skill set, and the coaching staff must tweak blocking schemes, route combinations, and red zone concepts accordingly. One injury can quietly reshape how an entire offense operates, especially when it affects a position that plays such a central role in both the run and pass game. This is where depth and preparation truly matter. The Cowboys have emphasized for years that every player must be ready when their number is called, and situations like this test that philosophy. For younger or lesser-used players, these moments represent opportunity. For coaches, they represent a balancing act between protecting key contributors and maintaining offensive rhythm. How Dallas handles this stretch could tell us a lot about the team's adaptability and mental toughness. On the defensive side of the ball, another debate continues to gain traction: the evaluation between linebackers Kenneth Murray and Logan Wilson. Head coach Brian Schottenheimer has publicly supported Murray, pointing to his athleticism and flashes of high-end coverage ability. Murray's speed allows him to close space quickly, disrupt passing lanes, and make plays that few linebackers can when he is at his best. Those physical traits are hard to ignore, especially in a league that increasingly values versatility and range at the linebacker position. At the same time, Logan Wilson represents a different but equally important skill set. Wilson may not have the same raw explosiveness, but his instincts, positioning, and football intelligence consistently show up on film. He diagnoses plays quickly, puts himself in the right spot, and often finds the football simply because he anticipates what is coming. This contrast highlights one of the oldest debates in football: elite athleticism versus high-level football IQ. Snap counts show Murray receiving slightly more playing time, but the gap is not overwhelming, suggesting the coaching staff is still evaluating how best to use both players. The challenge is finding the right balance, maximizing Murray's athletic upside while relying on Wilson's consistency and awareness. These decisions go beyond a single game. They shape player development, confidence, and the defensive identity the Cowboys want to establish as the season progresses. Fans have strong opinions on this topic, and social media has been filled with debates about who deserves more snaps. While that passion reflects how invested the fan base is, the coaching staff must rely on film, data, and long-term planning. The linebacker position is the communication hub of the defense, and whoever takes on a larger role will influence alignment, adjustments, and overall cohesion. The coaching staff itself has also been under increased scrutiny, and not for negative reasons. Assistant coach Clayton Adams has quietly earned respect for his work, particularly in overseeing offensive line performance and contributing to non-play calling responsibilities. His attention to detail and ability to improve execution have not gone unnoticed, both inside the organization and around the league. While he is not currently calling plays, his influence on the offense is clear, and it would not be surprising if other teams eventually come calling. Defensive line coach Aaron White-Cotton is another name gaining traction. His work developing disciplined and aggressive fronts has drawn praise, and while a major promotion may not be immediate, his trajectory is worth watching. Quarterbacks coach Steve Shimko also remains an important figure behind the scenes, providing experience, continuity, and insight at one of the most critical positions in football. In a league defined by constant turnover, maintaining stability while allowing coaches to grow is a delicate balancing act. Looking beyond Dallas, league-wide developments continue to shape how teams evaluate themselves. One notable storyline involves the Raiders' quarterback situation, where Kenny Pickett is expected to step in against a strong Eagles team due to Geno Smith's health concerns. These situations serve as reminders of how quickly circumstances can change in the NFL. For teams like the Cowboys, every game around the league offers lessons, film, and insight that feed into preparation and long-term planning. As all of these elements come together, the Cowboys are navigating a period defined by both opportunity and uncertainty. Jerry Jones' public backing of Pickens signals confidence and intent. Injuries like Ferguson's test depth and adaptability. Linebacker rotations reflect philosophical choices. Coaching stability points to long-term vision. Every decision is interconnected, and every outcome feeds into how this team is perceived. Before we go any further, take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us continue bringing you in-depth, honest Cowboys coverage, and we always want to hear your thoughts in the comments. Now let's address the rumor that has truly ignited the NFL conversation. Reports and speculation have surfaced suggesting the Dallas Cowboys may be making a move for star safety Justin Simmons. It is important to emphasize that this remains a developing situation, but the idea alone has sent shockwaves through the league. Simmons is widely regarded as one of the most intelligent and instinctive safeties in football, known for his ball skills, leadership, and ability to read quarterbacks. If a move like this were to materialize, the impact could be immediate. Simmons' presence would change how opposing quarterbacks attack the middle of the field. Linebackers and pass rushers could play more aggressively, knowing there is a trusted veteran patrolling behind them. Analysts believe a player of Simmons' caliber could elevate the entire defensive unit, creating more turnover opportunities and tightening coverage across the board. Beyond the field, such a move would signal intent. It would suggest a win-now mindset and a belief that the roster is ready to compete at the highest level. Fans have already taken to social media with bold predictions, debating whether this could be the move that pushes the Cowboys' defense into elite territory. Even as a rumor, it highlights how closely the league is watching Dallas and how seriously the Cowboys are being taken as potential contenders. That is where we will leave it for today, Cowboys Nation. If you enjoyed this deep dive and want to stay locked in for more Dallas Cowboys news, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and drop your thoughts in the comments. We read them all. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.